So let's get more reaction to the new U.S. tariffs from different provinces and take you to Alberta. The CBC's Paula Duhatschek is in Calgary with more. And Paula, the tariffs introduced today include 10% on Canadian energy, and that's going to be felt there in the oil patch. What are you hearing?
Of course. Well, the U.S. is by far the largest export market for Canadian crude oil, so any impact to this trading relationship is a big deal here in Alberta. Now, we're seeing some of the reaction through the stock market. At one point today, stocks for all the Canadian oil majors were down somewhere between 2% and 5%. Now, groups that represent workers in this industry say they're concerned that this could mean layoffs. Although, one expert I spoke with says it's still not totally clear yet exactly what the impact of all of this will be. Of course, right now, many American refineries are set up to process Canadian crude, and just because this tariff has come into effect, it doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be able to turn on a dime and find another source of oil, even if they wanted to. Take a listen.
Canada sends 4 million barrels a day to the U.S., and especially in the Midwest, in Minnesota, Chicago, places like that, and then some of it goes further south to the Gulf Coast. Especially in the Midwest, they don't have alternatives. So it's not like the higher price is going to result in a big cut in demand. They need our oil. We need to sell them our oil. And so that's one thing that gives some comfort is, we're going to continue to sell oil. We may just get a little bit lower price.
And he says a 10% tariff will probably translate to a tax of somewhere in the range of about $6 a barrel, Andrew.
And Paula, as we said, the vast majority of Canadian crude gets sent south of the border. Do these tariffs have people reconsidering if the U.S. should be our top customer?
Absolutely. That's been a huge topic of conversation. Now, I will say some diversification has happened already recently with the Trans Mountain pipeline expansion coming online last year. That really opened up new trade routes to Asia. But there are plenty of people who say that we need to go a lot further. The Canadian Association of Petroleum Producers put out a statement today. They're saying that we need to look at how to build new projects that can get Canadian energy to markets in places like Asia and Europe. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith as well on CNBC today, really singing from the same song sheet. And here's what she had to say.
My province is one of the biggest reserves of oil and gas in the world. I would love to sell double the amount that we are right now to the United States. Now we're going to have to look at how we can sell more out the West Coast, out the East Coast, and up north. Because if the Americans don't want our products, the rest of the world does. America's been in a very good position by being the first and primary customer and purchaser of a discounted oil. And we're going to have to look for new markets too if this persists.
Now, at a federal level, Natural Resources Minister Jonathan Wilkinson has said that he's open to building a new east-west pipeline here in Canada, though, of course, federal politics are very much up in the air these days, and it remains to be seen what future Prime Minister might say about all this and if anyone from the private sector would actually step forward and be interested in building a new pipeline. Andrew?
Thank you. The CBC's Paula Duhatschek live in Calgary.